excuse the pun, we're quite literally in the dark here. Can you let us know what's just gone on there?
Well, again, I've not encouraged anything like last time. I've been here since 5 o'clock. Really looking forward to an opportunity to play a league football match. It's unfortunate. As soon as I got here at 5, all the lights went off down the street, and of course it's the grid that Harrogate's floodlights are on, so no light in the ground. And the ref also had a concern that if it leaves it too late, because it's colder tonight than it was the night the game got called off, that if he kicks off later than 8 o'clock, he'll be in a different position of calling a game off because of frozen pitch, while he's contemplated obviously not starting a game because there's no actual light.
We were hearing reports that he was going to leave it for 15 minutes and then reassess. Looks like that he's just cast that aside and decided to call it off.
Well, he did do that because originally we were meant to kick off at 7, but if you noticed, I left the lads on the coach because there's no lights on in the ground anyway, so we can't get ready for 7 because it's pitch black, so the lads can't put the strappings on, massage, tactics. We still did the team sheets at 5:45 for a 7 o'clock kickoff. And it's pretty tough at the moment, if I'm being really truthful about it. Really tough because obviously the Football League have sent out and the PFA have sent the testing out for twice-a-week tests. I mean, ours arrived yesterday, so we did ours yesterday. But Harrogate could only do theirs today. They only got theirs today, and it's amazing what position it puts managers in. Because if and goodwill to Simon, because if he didn't have any ethics about him, he could have quite easily have left that and tested after the match. Because although there's stringent emails coming out, we're pretty much left to your own device how you operate as a human being, and they had their tests today for tonight's game. We had ours yesterday.
It's short notice, that COVID testing regime, isn't it? Is that something else you just have to deal with?
Yeah, and I know people, I know a lot of people, I spend a lot of time in hospitals obviously with Brandon, and a lot of people that work, and great people that work in the NHS, because let's be right, they're doing an unbelievable job, and we're very thankful to them, but we can try and continue to do ours. But it does pose unbelievable situations for a football manager currently to get ready for a game, not just because of weather, not just because of floodlights, but the coronavirus affecting that too.
You talk about distractions a lot, Chris. Is this something that's been added into getting in the way of keeping the good football going?
Well, I'd say yes, because if I looked at my squad at 10:30 yesterday morning at 2:30, it was in a completely different place within 4 hours.
Are you able to tell us more on that?
Yeah, JJ's knee's a little bit sore, so hopefully he'll recover for Saturday's match. He tried training yesterday and struggled with it after 10-15 minutes. He worked quite right. It's the same leg he hurt at the start of the season. It wasn't that bad. Little medial ligament. It was grade 1, wasn't it, at the start of the season, which is 7 to 10 days. So he's probably just feeling it. Ironically, by actually resting for a couple of days, it probably started to heal. And sometimes it's like, especially me getting older, keep something moving, don't stop, and when you stop it starts aching. So I think that a bit of that for JJ, but we'll see. And then in regards to the testing, we actually had 3 positive tests yesterday, so they didn't make the squad tonight.
Frustrating that, isn't it? And like you say, that's now a process that you'll keep going through, and you have to plan with that in mind.
I'll be honest with you, it's pretty horrendous because at the current circumstance working, and I'm not calling anything, this is what it is. Currently we've got no training ground, can't train outside because local facilities don't allow us to go on their facilities because of the lockdown, so we can't go outside on 4G. We're training in groups, 3 groups in the Neil Centre. So even yesterday in terms of match preparation, tactics, set plays. But prior to going out to train, then you've got these 20-minute tests that the lads are having to determine who can actually be available to plan for today's game. And by the time you've had your tests, planned your session, That's changed before you start your training session. So this isn't Chris Beech moaning, this is just Chris Beech saying that's exactly how it is. We're thankful we're in a position and grateful that we're in a position where we can go to work and try and work, but we've got to be mindful of the competition itself and the quality of the competition to be able to fight for what you want to try and fight for, which is 3 points on what you would try and call a level playing field. Difficult, but I suppose if you look at finance and budget, we're below level playing field anyway, so we're always fighting up.
Some clubs are getting sanctioned, Chris. Some managers are now speaking out and saying, is it time for a pause? Should we, where do you stand on that?
Well, I have a personal view, obviously, but that's between me and my family. In terms of, like, I'm so thankful of everybody that puts their own lives on the line when they help others. I spent a lot of time in hospitals with Brandon and still do. So I'm always very grateful to anybody that works within the NHS or tries to protect anybody else who's outside their own families. You know, well done to them. In terms of representing us as our manager, you know, if I shared the last 12 hours with somebody, I think you might be making me a cup of tea and saying, "You're all right, Chris." But it is what it is, and the Football League is saying crack on. Nigel's very supportive of games getting played. He's on the more know-how of that level of conversations within the Football League, the EFL, and I'm basically doing as I'm told as our manager to make sure we represent ourselves to the best possible outcomes we can be for a match. And you know, if you're a builder and you want to turn your cement mixer on, get hold of your trowel and find your brick, and everybody keeps moving it and somebody's saying, why haven't you built that wall yet? That's the kind of position you feel like you're in, actually.
Am I right in thinking you won't be naming the COVID players, but the next 72 hours, Chris, how do you begin to plan for Mansfield?
I don't know. It's pretty obvious, isn't it, when you name a team sheet and people aren't here. So it's horrendous because some lads have really behaved themselves. I've got players on the telephone telling me, honestly, Gaffer, all I've done is go home. I had to get the train home back to the northeast, spend time with my family. I've not been out the house, come back to training on Monday, and then we had tests last Thursday, the proper EFL ones that get sent off and come back, and everybody's all right on Thursday. So, wow, it is what it is.
I can hear the frustration, Chris. How do you get ready for Mansfield? Is this a case of where you have to be the professional manager and just let lads get on with it?
Yeah, but like it does pose personal opinions within what point does that, you know, people at home, people with pregnant partners, a couple of our players, one of our players live with their in-laws, they're very old. There's different things out there that affect players' minds. But we will do our best in our current situation to give our best, because that's just the way I'm made, and our players we've recruited are very honest, thankfully, this season, because it would be a right minefield try to get a team together if they weren't like this. But I think they're respectful of the position we're in, and we try our best to represent Carlisle to the best of our abilities.
Yes, thanks for your honesty once again.
Cheers.